In what ways does your media product use, develop, and challenge forms and conventions of real media products? For my A2 coursework piece, my group decided on making a music video for the indie rock song Naive by the Kooks. During this process, we used, developed, and challenged forms and conventions of real media products in order to successfully appeal to our target audience of teenagers over the age of 15. In order to achieve this, it was important to not only take inspiration from existing music videos within this genre, but also use society as a creative influence. Substance abuse comes in many forms, with the focus of my groups being on cocaine, which, although hasn't directly affected either of the people in my group, we felt that this was a reflection of modern society and an aspect that needed addressing amongst the younger, impressionable explorer demographic. Before we began planning for the production of our music video, we carried out extensive research into our chosen genre of indie rock/pop. This gave us a better understanding of the codes and conventions of the indie genre and how to successfully appeal to our target audience. I obtained my research by carrying out 3 textual analysis on music videos within our genre. All of the research into this genre enabled me to explore deeper within the genre and gain an understanding of what the audience will be entertained by via the narrative, characters, and themes. Firstly, I analysed the music video to a popular indie band Alt J's song Breeze Blocks, which explores a couple's issues with domestic violence and challenges gender stereotypes, as the female is the abuser and the male is the vulnerable victim. My music video can be argued as intertextual to this, as we also challenge gender stereotypes by making the male the submissive, weak character and the female the dominant focus of our narrative, and use similar editing techniques to alter the colour in order to make it appear as if shot in the evening. In the other 2 textual analyses, I explored the genre even further. I analysed the music videos for Paper Kites, Bloom, and Kimbra's Two-Way Street, which were helpful in understanding the indie genre. The narrative for both differed greatly from the narrative of Breeze Blocks, whereby it was centred on a healthy love, which is common in indie music videos, whereas my music video and Breeze Blocks has themes of toxic love and a narrative with negative connotations. The conventional linear narrative to the music video I created centres around a young female who has a drug addiction and the effect on her relationship. Therefore, my music video isn't intertextual in the sense of characters and narrative. However, we took inspiration from the location used in both and decided to replicate this in our music video, using stereotypical locations such as a forest and open locations that similarly possess connotations of isolation and loneliness. Within music videos of all genres, females are denoted as weak, vulnerable, and submissive characters, with the main focus being on the male protagonist, who adopts the main role with props 8 stock characters, such as being cast as the hero or the villain. My group felt that it was important to both conform and challenge these stereotypes in order for our piece to remain interesting to our target audience, but also reflect the moving ideologies surrounding women in society. Stereotypically, men are depicted as being the violent drug abusers within the indie genre. Within the narrative of my music video, we decided to challenge this and cast the female protagonist as a young teenager who is dealing with substance abuse, but also the effects of a strenuous relationship with her boyfriend, who overtly disagrees with her life choices. Although there is no physical abuse being represented to our audience, the connotations are evident within the first few scenes. My group's music video challenged the conventions of not only indie music videos that focus on social realism, but also all forms of media. A female being the key component of a music video without being sexually objectified is not a convention that features heavily in many music videos of this genre, and therefore defying Laura Mulvey's male gaze. However, in my music video, the main protagonist is not overtly objectified, as she is covered head to toe in dark colours, used to represent the inner turmoil of her character. Despite this, one may argue that her natural femininity may still hold her subject to sexual objectification, as the long shots and wide shots of her walking in the forest expose her entire body, according to Laura Mulvey's male gaze. Similarly, Naomi Wolf's beauty myth reinforces this notion, as it suggests that men are visually aroused by the female body and less sensitive to their personalities. Therefore, it is likely that our main protagonist will still be subject to some form of sexual objectification. Furthermore, a convention of the indie genre that we decided to challenge and not include is the use of a performance-based narrative. We felt it important to differentiate our music video from others within our genre, to give it a sense of individuality, and also keep the focus on the ideologies we created through our narrative and the camera shots and angles used of our main protagonist. Moreover, our media product explored the indie genre through conforming to certain conventions and the use of technical codes. By utilising our target audience's feedback on our research questionnaire, we were able to identify what they would expect from our music videos, as well as from our digipack and magazine advert, by giving them a range of conventions from existing products. In regards to our music video, we explored the theme of social realism, which allowed us the creative freedom to create a character who was emotionally damaged, however also a dominating presence in our music video. Ed Sheeran's music video for A-Team also explores a similar theme of a young female addicted to drugs that would do anything to get her supply, and could argue that our main protagonist is similarly represented through using similar stylistic shots. My group's video doesn't explore this in as much depth, but the narrative follows her through her trip, creating a voyeuristic experience, as the majority of our music video is shot through the point of view of the target audience, placing the camera behind the protagonist as they watch her on her path to self-destruction, which is a common theme of the indie genre. The mise-en-scène also successfully personified our main protagonist character. The bare trees can be seen as a visual representation of her inner self being and vulnerable and damaged state, using the drugs as a way to fill the void, which could be instantly understood by our target audience, therefore applying the hypodermic needle theory. This is a convention of the indie genre that we chose to develop on throughout our 3 products to create a campaign but also conform to the genre. We chose to use a natural setting to contrast the unnatural state of mind to create a binary opposition that our target audience would be able to be entertained by and identify with. This is evident in both our music video and ancillary products, as we felt it imperative to continue the theme, as our target audience felt this would be beneficial to our product and allow it to conform further to the genre. The narrative is deep and full of meaning, whilst also being enigmatic, as the audience wants to know the reason for her drug abuse, and it explores the effect that abuse can have on a relationship with not only a significant other, but also family, as the ending has a powerful message with the close-up of a picture of her and her dad as a child. This conforms to Anthony Goodwin's music video theory, as it has created a link with the visuals and the lyrics, as the song plays "Just Don't Let Me Down." We were able to explore her emotion and character using a range of camera shots and angles that showed her seemingly innocent and vulnerable at the beginning whilst sleeping, with the representation instantly ended with the introduction of a binary opposition as she grabs a bottle and begins to drink it in the morning, which suggests that there is a deeper reason for her self-destruction that the audience is unaware of, creating an enigma. The props we have used also conform and develop the genre we are trying to represent. When we carried out our audience research after distributing questionnaires, we were able to gain a better understanding of what our target audience of 15 and over teenagers wanted from our music video. A crucial element to any music video are the props, as they enhance the narrative and allow the audience to engage with the characters and identify with them, conforming to Blumler and Katz's uses and gratification theory. As we focused our music video on substance abuse, our drug of choice was cocaine, and we included alcohol to enhance her damaged state. We decided to keep our props minimal, as the main focus of the music video was the narrative. Cocaine is a Class A drug that is popular among the white middle class. It has mental effects that include loss of contact with reality, an intense feeling of happiness or agitation, with effects lasting up to 90 minutes, something that we explored within our narrative. The audience see Luna pull out a packet of cocaine from her bag, and then a wide shot of her car as the visual of her head going down, insinuating that she snorted the drug, which is confirmed by a behind-the-shoulder shot of her wiping the white powder from the bridge of her nose, which is typically the way in which people consume cocaine. This may entertain our target audience, however also place them in an uncomfortable position, as they are powerless to help, conforming to the uses and gratification theory. This is the emotion that we intended on creating for our target audience, as it adds to the experience and also creates a sense of verisimilitude. Whilst filming this scene, it was important to keep within the guidelines set by the BBFC, as the use of drugs should not be glorified and the music video should not be seen as promoting or encouraging the misuse of drugs, which our music video abides by. Similarly, We used other props such as a blue backpack, which is by the popular designer Michael Kors, which gives an indication of her social class and encourages the audience to ask questions about the root of her drug addiction. Additionally, the lighting conforms successfully to the genre. When our music video begins, the audience is immediately met with a dark mise-en-scène, with bright flashing lights from a night out that Luna was on, quickly followed by an establishing mid-shot of Luna in her bed appearing peaceful with bright lighting, instantly creating a binary opposition of dark and light, which can be identified as a representation of her character. This can be argued as intertextual to the original music video for Naive, as the narrative also includes scenes from the previous night, as a male is rising from his bed in the beginning. The lighting within the house is bright and natural, as it is representing the mid-afternoon. The lighting in the bathroom was intensified by the white walls that make the room appear brighter than usual. Her boyfriend then appears in the narrative, seemingly angry at her for reasons that are yet unknown, creating an enigma. Also creating a link between the visuals and lyrics, as he enters on the line, "How could this be done by such a smiling sweetheart? Oh, you're so naive," conforming to Anthony Goodwin's music video theory. Whilst in the park, the lighting becomes increasingly darker as daylight hours have lessened due to the season, and the overwhelming amount of trees hinder the amount of light exposed. We decided to edit the lighting to make it darker, to make it appear as if in the late evening, to show the extent of her high and also to reflect the emotion of her character through not only the use of mise-en-scène but also the effectiveness of our lighting, which our target audience would identify throughout the music video, conforming to the cultivation theory.